Hello my friends, and welcome to another review of a game that I've been playing during my spare time when I'm not recording. And today we're looking at another one of the SRW PS4 games. Namely, this is Super Robot Wars Cross. And as you can tell, these are the two protagonists that you do take control of. One is Iori and the other one is Amari. So the one on the left is Iori and the one on the right is Amari. Now we begin our tale with the usual fact that we have our hero, or heroine if you choose, and they go about their business of doing their heroic daring do. And the story this time takes place on Dokta. Or rather, not Dokta. It's the route we're going on. No. This time, the whole story takes place on Mount Sokai, which is the world of Majin Iyuden Wataru. And for those who have never heard of the series, we did get a port of it over here on the TurboGrafx, known only as Keith Courage and Alpha Zones. Now, for those who are wondering, yeah, Wataru is a very old, underrated anime, and most of the enemies, as you can see, the very shorty ones that wear glasses on their face, and they ride on tanks, they're called Budikins or Budikinton. But they always say Budikin. Budikin! Budikin! So I call them Budikins. But they're really called Budikintons. And of course, the enemy in that series is the Dokta Army. And they have some very awkward names. Basically like the Dome Brothers, Cruising Tom, Schwarzenegger, and oh my god, it's just too funny. They recently did an updated version of it, which is somewhat of a continuation of the series, and I believe it's on, if you could look it up, just the 7 Secrets of Yujimaru. I think that's what it's called, but it is an updated version of Wataru. Anyway, the interesting thing of note is the series that are in this, such as, aside from Gundam, namely the UC Gundam line, and some of the alternate Gundam, like Reconquista and G, and of course you have the UC Gundams, which is basically Zeta, Double Zeta, and Charge Counterattack. There's also Buddy Complex. I almost say Clump. It's Buddy Complex, a series I never heard of. And then, of course, there's Crossange, Rondo of Angels and Dragons, which have returned from the previous game, from V. Of course, you know, that was from the new PS4 line. And let me see. There's also a series that I have been watching as of late, which is going to be in a different video, and that's Aura Battler Done By. You'll excuse me because I'm looking through all my... Oh, here it is. I was looking for the box that Cross was being held in. Some people call it X, it's called Cross. So, yeah, we even got Code Geass in here. We got Code Geass, Tengen Toppa, Guri Nagan. Of course, we have returning series like the Brave Express Might Gain. We also have, surprisingly, Nadia, the Secret of Blue Water. And of course, also returning is Mazinger Z: The Impact, which is the newer version of Mazinger Z, a retold version of the series. But where I am in the game is I'm a little ways past the halfway point. I'm on 27 and I'm going on the Dokda route. Now, let me tell you something about this game. It plays almost like V, except for some differences. For one, your unit, the Zelguard, isn't as strong as the previous game, which you had, which you basically had a mobile weapon. Not a suit, you had a freaking mobile weapon. So, you have a magic unit, in which they call it in this world Dogma. So technically, it's a little bit of a challenge because I'm playing as a character that I don't usually play as, and that's a magic wielding character. It's not that I don't really care for casters. I just don't really use magic casting characters. I don't use casters very often. And when I do, it's more like, if they're in my party, okay, that's all you're going to do. Cast, cast, cast. You're not going to do anything. You're not going to hit nobody. You're going to stay casting all the time. Just cast, 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 cast. That's all you're going to do. Now, in total, just like the previous game, it has 52 stages. And of course, being that it is an SRW game, you have route splits. And every route split, you're either going to take the Earth route or the space route. I'm going straight Earth. There's no Earth one save and space the other save. Like, no. Excuse me. My thing is this: if it basically sticks to, say, do you want to take on the Mount Sokai route or the Dokata route? Yes, I do. I almost forgot that. Daiton 3 is in here, but not Zamba 3. Just Daiton. But that's okay. And Daiton is still broken as ever, but without Zamba 3, it's not as broken, but it still does the job that it's supposed to do. Especially with the Sun Attack! Aside from that, I've been playing a lot of SRW as of late, as you can tell on my channel. And if you visit my streaming channel, my Twitch channel, I do play a lot of SRW on Wednesdays. And I cycle through right now. Right now at the moment, I'm cycling through 3. One is GameCube, GC. The other is W for the DS. And the third one is Alpha Gaiden for the PS1. Fan translated, all of course. Until they actually do more fan translations on the rest of the unreleased SRW games that never came out over here. It is what it is. Either that or the ACE games. For those who don't know what ACE is, it's another Centuries episode. That's what ACE is. All I can say about this is I've really been enjoying this for what it's worth, and and seeing that it's one of those long type of games. Since it's one of those long type of games. One thing I've noticed is the missions do get long. And I think the only one that nearly just tired me out was the last one I was taking on, which was I was dealing with the Mikine army. So, you had the Mikine army on one end, and you start off with the Budokins. Then after that, you had the Mikine show up. And then on top of that, you had Mazinger Zero show up. And then after that, here's Ankoku Daishogun shows up. I'm like, you bitch. And then after that, oh hey, here's Mazing Kaiser and Mazing Emperor G. Okay. And let me tell you that, I mean, there was supposed to be Sidebuster that was supposed to show up. He never did show up. I think he might have been a DLC character. I wouldn't know. I mean, the theme song is in there, but the character is not. So, I don't know. That must have been a thing. Aside from that, I still have the last one of the trilogy I have to deal with, and that's Terra. T's the last one, so in that order I've been playing Voyage, Cross, and the last one be Terra. What am I going to do after that? Well, with every Super Robot game, I have to basically say, you know what? Do I keep it around? Possibly. Or possibly not. Don't know. It might go up on the selling block. I'm not entirely certain. I mean, lately, I have been going to World 8, and they have been giving me some good money for what I've been selling. And I still have to go back up there because there's some games that do need checking. And on top of that, I must say goodbye to an old friend. And oh my god, that's a lot of shit that just came from underneath my cubbyhole. Not really, but the sound you heard was that of my Star Ocean 3 strategy guide, which I'm still considering working on. And on top of that, there was some papers that just tripped over, and there's some. Oh, and here's another thing that was down there, and that's a mouse that I don't even use. Old mouse, by the way. Aside from that, what I have to say about this is The only other person that would appreciate a game like this would be 40 Warrior. Because he too, like me, is an SRPGist. More SRPGist than I, but still, we're both SRPGists. We are men of culture. And my phone says, "Oh, don't forget to vote." Look, I already voted. Yeah, it really is that time again, in which it's a reminder. Oh, hey, you got to vote. Yeah, here, I'm going to give you my 2 cents, and look, do what you had to do, be done with it, whatever, I don't care. I've exercised my right to vote, and all I can say is I pray that those who get voted do the right thing. That's all. Moving on. Super Robot Wars Cross is basically somewhat different, but oh my god, the place you're fighting across is called Alwars. They call it Alwarth, but it's Alwars. I don't understand that. It never fails. It's like from the moment we got certain characters that had an ending with S, they had to go with TH. Like Mars from Fire Emblem. Over here he's called Marth. It's Mars. Ares Gainsborough from Final Fantasy VII. She's called Aerith. It's like, no, her name is Ares. Ares. Or Aerith. I mean, I would think it would sound like this. Aerith. Marth. You know, Marth. Like Mars. Ice. And then we have Urs. But it's really called Alright. But it's Alwars. So yeah, the place in question that this whole story is under is called Alwars. I still find it funny. In which our hero, depending on who you choose, is conflicted about the organization he or she is working under. They want answers, they want to do the right thing, but they feel so conflicted about why. Or, you know, how come they have to deal with this shit? They want to make a decision, they make decisions, say, you know what? Can't do this shit anymore. So, they had to do what they had to do. Break away from whatever the hell they were dealing with and just say, you know what? I don't want this. Just, no, I don't want this. I'm good. Aside from all that, this is one of those games you really can't find anywhere except on Amazon. Or, if you're lucky and there's a convention in town that sells this game, keep in mind that since it is an import, it will cost a good $80 or so. No higher than 80. Or if you're like me that has like a game store that pretty much sells just about anything. You might get for a lot less. Now, would I say try Super Robot Wars for yourself? Well, your taste may vary. If you're not into strategy RPGs or tactics RPGs, skip this. As a matter of fact, Voyage, which is the Yamato storyline, Cross, which is the Wataru storyline, one side is the Dokuda route, and the other side is the Mitsurugi route, which is technically Buddy Complex. You know what I chose. I chose the left over the right. It might change and it might not change, depending. But, like I said, is this game worth it? If you are not into strategy or tactics, it's an SRW. It's an SRW game. You know how they are. They are long. They have always been long since original generation was ported over here. And they can be longer if you don't know what you're doing. Some battles, if you're a long time viewer on my channel and you've seen how the battles are with SRW, some can be 50 minutes to almost 2 goddamn hours. And I don't cut anything out because it's like, well, how come? I said, you see how long it took me to beat one mission? 2 hours is like the maximum I would ever do for recording. That depends on what I'm recording, but still. SRW is one of those games that will take a while to beat. So you can't really like do it in one good sitting. You have to like prepare yourself. So if you say you can do 2 missions, you can do 2 missions. You say you can do a mission, that's good too. But keep in mind that SRW is a lot like chess. And when you do win a battle, you have to spread out your funds accordingly. Like, which do you value more? Do you value your durability of your units or the firepower? It's survivability versus the fact that, you know, you want to end the battle fast. Me, depending on how powerful my units are or how long I want to, how favorable I want to have for certain units, I'll keep certain units in. And I was like, okay, you know what? Oh, Gurren Lagann. Okay, just have Gurren Lagann. Have the Mazinger units in, not all the Mazinger units. So, oh yeah, nah, boss. Sokai, y'all can hang. Koji and Tetsuya, they got this. Y'all good. It's the same thing with the Gundam units. You mostly have, let's see, you have Crossbone, you have F91, you have Zeta, Double Zeta, Charge Counterattack. So that means you have Amuro, you have Seabuk, you have Judo, you have Ru, and later Kamiyu. You'll eventually have Char. You'll have Berry from Reconquista in G. And all the other units, like the G Lucifer and the Moron, or the Moran, take a pick. For me, I always say Moran because M-O-Mo-R-A-N. R-A-N. Moran. 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 Or the Moran. You get certain units, of course, depending on which route, you know. But all the same, like I said, if you really want to get into this game, you can. If not, you're really not missing out on anything except for a lot of explosions. And the next one I will most likely do is T, because Terra has the following units, such as Trilogy 7, Our Battler Dumbine, New Story, Zeta Gundam, Double Zeta, Srw's Counterattack, Bill 3 Kiss Children, that's the sequel to Srw's Counterattack, Crossbone Gundam, Skull Heart, Steel 7, all Crossbone Gundam, Voltons, Last Red Shoulder, Big Battle, Brave Express Might Gain, King of Braves Gal Gagar, Cowboy Bebop, Gunbuster, Nadeshiko, the motion picture Prince of Darkness, Getter Rebel Armageddon, Mazinger Z Infinity, which is the last of the series, Arcadia of My Youth, Endless Orbit S2X, that's Captain Harlock, Magic Knight Rearv, Gun Sword, and Expelled from Paradise. More than likely, I will be working on that when I actually get to it, when I actually finish it, I should say. Too bad I don't have the... Too bad the download code expired. Otherwise, I would have got the special scenario pack, and I would have got the guest spins, but it is what it is. I doubt I can use it now. In fact, I'm pretty sure I would not be able to use it now. But as I said, had I got this a lot sooner, I would have just hopped on it like a beast. But it is what it is. So, in my next review, it will be that of a movie I've seen quite previously, and I'll be glad to share my thoughts on it. So stay tuned when more content comes at you right after this. Thanks so much for watching.